Next week, Emmerdale delivers a major twist as one of Kim Tate's numerous rivals makes a bold move, following signs that she has been poisoned during a peace dinner with the Dingles. Tension rises at Wishingwell Cottage when Kim suddenly begins to choke while eating and then falls unconscious. As Dr. Liam Kavanagh and Cain Dingle hurry to take her to hospital, the other guests are left anxiously waiting for updates about her health. However, medical tests create more confusion than clarity, revealing that Kim may have consumed toxic mushrooms, sparking suspicion among everyone present. The drama begins when Kim accepts an invitation from Lydia to dine with the Dingles, as Lydia hopes to ease the ongoing conflict between their families. Unfortunately, the evening takes a disastrous turn, leaving Kim hospitalized. Graham Foster presses trainee doctor Jacob Sugden for information, and Jacob confirms that the symptoms point to serious mushroom poisoning. At the same time, the Dingles gather at the Woolpack, all considered potential suspects, as they wait for news. Graham arrives with what he has learned and declares that someone among them is responsible, making it clear he plans to uncover the culprit. Since Lydia is known to be close to Kim, she is quickly ruled out. Suspicion instead falls heavily on Sam, who collected the mushrooms used in the meal under Cain's instructions. This leads Sam to accuse Cain of setting up an attempt on Kim's life. The Dingle family is used to heated arguments, but Sam's accusation deeply affects Cain. While his relationship with Kim has never been friendly, especially after Joe Tate forced the sale of Butler's farm, Cain is furious at being blamed, particularly with bigger struggles looming for his family. While tensions rise between the Dingles and Graham over the mushroom theory, Kim faces another challenge when Joe appears at her hospital bedside. She doubts his intentions, especially since he is now aware of her decision to leave Home Farm to Lydia. At this moment, Kim feels she cannot rely on anyone, especially Joe. Their relationship becomes increasingly strained, as she questions whether he might be planning something to prevent Lydia from inheriting. Even though Joe insists he has nothing to do with the incident, Kim remains wary and alert. With enemies surrounding her from all sides, the question remains, will the person behind the poisoning finally be exposed? Emmerdale reveals that Paddy Dingle and Marlon Dingle go on a destructive spree in a special episode this week. Paddy discovers a surprising way to release his frustration after an unexpected idea from his close friend Marlon, leading to chaos involving sledgehammers. Worried about what lies ahead for himself and his loved ones, the troubled vet follows Marlon's advice, and the pair end up venting their anger in a dramatic way. But what drives them to this point? Marlon feels powerless to help Paddy, knowing there is no easy fix for his situation. With the possibility of prison looming, something Marlon has experienced himself, he understands just how serious things are. Paddy has recently confessed his involvement, along with Dylan Penders, in covering up Ray Walters' murder, refusing to let his father Bear Wolf take the blame alone. As the case continues, Paddy has been suspended from his veterinary work and is searching for something to occupy his mind. He asks Rona Goskirk if he can return in a limited role, and she allows him to handle reception duties. However, being restricted only reminds him how much he risks losing a career he deeply cares about. When Paddy attempts to step in and help a client with an ill cat, Rona firmly reminds him not to go beyond his permitted role, leaving him feeling even more discouraged. His worries deepen further when he receives official confirmation of the upcoming court date that will determine both his and Dylan's futures. Overwhelmed, Paddy begins to lose control of his emotions, bringing back painful memories of his past mental health struggles when he once considered ending his life. Struggling with these dark thoughts, he turns to the one person he trusts most, Marlon, as their intense two-person episode unfolds. Marlon immediately senses that something is seriously wrong when Paddy shows up, clearly not himself. As Paddy talks about the fear of prison for himself, Dylan, and Bear, he admits he cannot see any way out of their situation. Marlon comforts him, offering support and trying to stop him from thinking the worst. Although he reassures Paddy that there is still hope, Marlon knows he cannot simply fix everything. Still, he comes up with an unusual idea to lift Paddy's mood. They first try playing a zombie video game, but it fails to distract Paddy. Marlon then suggests taking things further by acting it out in real life, proposing they go to Ray and Celia's farm and smash things up. Armed with sledgehammers, they decide to let out their anger. Entering the empty property, they begin wrecking the place where so much trouble began, releasing their pent-up emotions. The act of destruction gives Paddy a sense of relief and also helps Marlon cope with his own recent struggles. However, their reckless actions could lead to serious consequences, raising the question of whether this outburst will only make their situation worse, despite offering a brief sense of escape. Emmerdale spoilers hint at troubling developments ahead for Kim Tate, as she becomes the focus of a dramatic mystery after being poisoned. But who is behind it? Viewers of the ITV soap know that Kim, who owns Home Farm, has recently decided to leave her fortune to her close friend and housekeeper Lydia Dingle, a move that has angered her step-grandson Joe Tate. This revelation followed Kim persuading Moira Dingle to sell her share of Butler's farm, allowing Joe to push forward with plans to take full control of the property, which has reignited tensions with the Dingle family. Adding to the drama, Kim recently rekindled a romantic connection with Graham Foster, though he may now regret it due to his lingering feelings for Rona Goskirk. In upcoming scenes, Kim gets ready to visit the Dingles at Wishingwell Cottage, despite Graham expressing concerns about the idea. Lydia organises the gathering and firmly believes that bringing both families together for dinner will help settle their ongoing disagreements. The evening begins awkwardly but gradually improves, until everything takes a sudden turn. Kim begins choking during the meal and then collapses, causing alarm among everyone present. Cain and local doctor Liam Kavanagh quickly rush Kim to hospital, while those left behind begin accusing one another. Graham grows suspicious that something more sinister has happened after Jacob Gallagher points out that Kim's condition matches the effects of severe mushroom poisoning. As tensions rise, the main suspects gather in the back room of the Woolpack. Cain and Caleb Milligan soon clash, and the situation escalates further when Graham announces that doctors believe poisoned mushrooms are to blame. Attention quickly shifts to Sam Dingle, who admits he collected the mushrooms after Cain told him where to find them. He then suggests that Cain himself may have had a motive to harm Kim. Meanwhile, Joe hurries to the hospital to be by Kim's side, but she doubts his sincerity and accuses him of pretending to care. Frustrated, Joe insists he had no involvement in what happened, though Kim remains unsure. With so many possible suspects, the mystery deepens. Was this truly an attempt on Kim's life, and who is responsible? Emmerdale airs on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.